Hi, this is Praful coming to you from Gangtok, Sikkim. Today I'll be telling you about Hibernate. Hibernate is used for developing data-centric Java applications. We can avoid all the complex JDBC programming and we can simplify all the database activities in an application using Hibernate. In Hibernate, the most important thing we do is we create a bean class that communicates with a database table. Every operation we perform on the object of the bean is internally performed on the table data. This process is called as object relational mapping. In the beginning of the application, what we do is we create an XML file that includes all the database connectivity parameters. Then we create a bean class with properties similar to the columns of the database table, and we associate them with the help of something called as annotations. Annotations is a modern tool used for Java development. Annotations in Hibernate are used for mapping properties of a bean class with the columns of a table. This was previously done with the help of XML files, which was quite lengthy and time consuming. Hibernate has its own query language HQL, Hibernate Query Language, and a set of high-level functions that can be used to deal with database data. Previously, we used to write large number of lines of code to deal with the data and to perform database operations. Hibernate makes it easy. For this demo, we will be using Java 11, Hibernate 5.4, Eclipse 2019 and MySQL 8. Hibernate can be used with any database that you wish to use with your Java application. Hibernate can also be combined with other MVCs like struts, JSF or Spring. Normally, performing database activities with JDBC requires lot of efforts. We have to include a driver, we have to write so much of code, but this can be simplified with the help of Hibernate. So most of the companies for developing applications that revolve around data use Hibernate. So knowing Hibernate is going to be a very important thing in career building in Java. If you wish to make a career in the world's most popular and powerful development technology Java, Hibernate must be a part of your skill set. You enjoy working with Hibernate, I'll enjoy Sikkim. The first step in developing a Hibernate application is to keep a database ready. We are using MySQL, but you can use any database of your choice. I have a database ready with a table called accounts that contains account number, account name, account type and balance. And you can see account number is a primary key. I'll be using this table for object relational mapping in Hibernate. Open Eclipse IDE, where we'll be developing an application in Java. I have already added Tomcat 9 as a server in my Eclipse IDE. Take a dynamic web project. I have named the application as Hyper Web App. To convert a web application into an Hibernate application, we will have to add few jar files to the project. These jar files can be downloaded from the official Hibernate site or can be downloaded from my GitHub repository. The downloaded file will be in the form of a zip, so we'll have to extract it. These are the most required jar files that we need to add to our project to convert it into an Hibernate application. Right-click the project name, go into the build path and add the jar files as demonstrated in the video. To connect and communicate with MySQL database, we will have to add a JDBC driver jar file of MySQL in our project. Right-click src folder of the project and add a new XML file with the name hibernate.cfg.xml. This is a Hibernate configuration file that contains all the connectivity parameters to connect this application with MySQL database. Entries required in this hibernate.cfg.xml file can be downloaded from GitHub repository and can be modified according to your requirements. This XML file contains specifications of the database like the driver, the server name, port number, the database name, user ID, password, etc. This file will help the Hibernate application to connect to the database every time whenever we want to perform any database operation. Now we'll have to create a package to store the bean components. So right click src folder and create a new package. Now we have to create a bean that we will be mapping with the accounts table in the database. This bean will be called as an entity bean. This bean can have any name, but for our understanding, we are naming it as accounts. Add properties in the bean class similar to the columns in the table. We are creating properties like account number, account name, account type and balance with specific data types because we have these columns in the database table accounts. It's always a good idea to create a constructor to initialize the private data members of the class. Now we will have to map the bean class with the table in the database, accounts. This can be done with the help of annotations. Map properties of the bean class with the columns in the table. ID is used to map a primary key, whereas column is used to specify the column name in the database table. Generate setters and getters of all the properties of the bean class so that we will be able to store and retrieve values from these bean properties. All the preparation that we need to do for a Hibernate application is now ready. We can proceed with the development process.